Well, good morning everybody and welcome back to the channel. Hey, it is time to put my customized TRD skid plate on the new 2020 Tacoma back there. And what I'm talking about is right here. You guys can see this is the TRD skid plate. I of course had painted it black and put the Voodoo Blue TRD lettering in. Now, if you're not familiar where this is going to go, let's take a walk over here. It's going to replace this thin, look how thin this thing is, skid plate that's on the front right now. Now, the difference between what I had done before on the 2018 and this truck is I did not have the rear component here. So this has to be removed as well. And of course, the skid plate on the front here is the same. Now, we've only got 4 bolts. There's 2 here in the front and 2 here in the back to remove. And then to get the rear skid plate off, we've got a bolt up in here, a bolt up in here, and then these 2 bolts back here. And I believe these 2 bolts back here need to be reused. Everything else will be replaced by bolts that came with the new skid plate. So I'm going to go ahead, set you guys up. We're going to go ahead and get this old equipment, this little cheapo thin skid plate off of here, and then move on to get the new one installed. Okay, first up, I'm going to remove the rear skid plate. It takes a 12mm socket. Again, 4 bolts here, here, up in this indentation here, and up in here. And we're going to start up here. The most difficult ones to get to, I guess. You can't really see them in there. They are tight. Wow. Not working with the impact. I guess we're going to have to employ a little old-fashioned muscle. Let me grab a ratchet, see if we can't break those things loose. Okay, let's employ some people power. Surprised they're that tight, to be honest, but well, they weren't. I don't know why my ratchet wasn't taking them off. Maybe it was, and I was just too impatient. Let's try the other one. Yeah, they're not that tight. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Go ahead and use this. Well, matter of fact, I'm going to break the other ones loose while I'm here. Why not? Yeah, they are not that tight. That was weird. I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and use the ratchet to finish them off. Or an impact, I should say. They're just little bolts, nothing special. There we go. You want to hold this because I don't believe there's anything holding this up once you get the bolts out. So you do want to put a hand on it. Yeah, there actually was one hook, you can see right here, that was in this hole. I suppose that might have held it up a little. But anyway, we've got the rear off, so we'll set this thing aside. Now let's move up to the front. Okay, on this one, there are 2 hooks up here in the front that this thing will pull down and dangle, if you will. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the 2 rears first. And that way we'll be able to just lay it down a little bit, if you will, once it releases, and I won't have to worry so much about holding this one. So let's get these 2 bolts off here. You know, what? I think I'm running out of battery. That's the issue. So, in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and just use a hand ratchet. Yeah, these are definitely not very tight. Battery must be pretty low. I am going to go ahead and use it to finish them off, though. Why not? Yeah, my impact is almost out of juice, so I'm going to change the battery on that, and then we'll get on to the front ones. All right, got a fresh battery in here. Let's see if it can redeem itself. Start over here on the left. Oh yeah, makes a big difference when you have enough power. I am going to put a hand on this just to make sure. And you can see it just rotates down like so and will just hang there. So that makes it easy to handle. Go ahead and lift this off. Here we go. That takes care of the uninstall of the existing skid plates or skid plates. Now we'll go ahead and grab the new one, get it up here because it does weigh a few pounds actually, and then we'll see about getting it installed. Okay, next up, time to remove a couple of these frame bolts. There's one here on the left, driver or passenger side, and then the second one in here on the driver's side. And then moving on down this brace, we have one in the back here we have to remove, and one here we have to remove. And the reason for that is because the screws that come on the new skid plate, that you can see, or the bolts rather, actually go into those holes, and then two other ones there in the back. So let's go ahead and remove those. This requires a 17mm socket, and these you'll want to store somewhere. You're not going to reuse these, so maybe put them somewhere so that if you need them down the road for some reason, you'll have them. So let's go ahead and get these off. Tell you, this thing makes short work of those bolts because they are in there. Next up, we just have to sit the new skid plate up, and I'm going to try to finagle that a little bit and go ahead and start bolting it in. All right, got it all set up to go ahead and get it installed. I used my bungees back here, of course, to hold the rear up so that I can just push the front up and engage, if you will, the bolts here in these holes. And you're supposed to do this front first, then back, and then center. And the reason is so that it doesn't bind. So I'm going to go ahead, lift this thing up, and fasten it in. Okay, we've wrestled it all up there. I will tell you that once you have the front bolt secure, then you're supposed to move to the back. And there's a lot of spring in this thing, if you will. You really have to push up on it to be able to get these bolts in. We did it in order. We did the front, then the back. Then I actually, to be honest, I did put the middle ones in loosely just to hold it up while I wrestled with these back bolts here. So I'm going to go ahead and torque it down. And we do have the front ones in as well. And then I'll come back and show you the finished product. Okay, it is done. It is up. And this is what it looks like. I love the look of it. Again, way back when I first bought this, I didn't care for that kind of cream, pewter color, whatever it was, and that's why I painted mine black. And of course, changed out the red lettering to match the rest of the truck. It's a pretty simple install. It's just bulky. Would work better if you had a couple of hands to help. Hey, a couple of features on this real quick. We do have the panel here to remove so that we can gain access to the oil filter, so you don't have to remove the whole skid plate. And then back here is, of course, the drain plug for the oil. So You don't have to take the thing off. It's up there. I did touch up the bolts from scraping them. And I know it'll get chipped and stuff as the truck is used. But, you know, hey, when you first get it on there, you want it to look good from the beginning. Now, if anybody's interested in picking this up, I will leave information below. You can get this at Sparks Parts and use discount code RobMotive for 5% off your order if you're interested in this. I'd give it about probably about a 2.5 as far as difficulty, and that's only because of the weight. Otherwise, it's a pretty simple install. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Real quick, if you're interested and you want to, don't forget to check out my other channel. It is Rob Motion, all about my Jeep Gladiator sitting out there patiently watching. And don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time on the web. Have a great day. Bye.